You're just not trying hard enough. Why can't you just focus? You're being too sensitive. Just sit still. Can you please pay attention? What if everything they told you was wrong? What if I told you that the very traits society labels as deficits and ADHD could actually be the secret ingredient to athletic greatness? We often hear that ADHD means you can't focus, but in the world of competitive sports, that's not the whole story. For decades, we've tended to view ADHD through the lens of limitations, focusing on struggles in the classroom or challenges in traditional settings. But what happens when you change the environment? Swap the classroom desk for a starting block, a balance beam, or a soccer field. The narrative can completely flip. So from the intense concentration that helped power Michael Phelps to an incredible 28 Olympic medals, to the creative boldness of gymnastic legend Simone Biles, we're about to explore the hidden cognitive strength that can give these athletes a secret edge. Let's break down the ADHD superpower that nobody talks about in sports. First up is one of the most misunderstood traits, the hyperfocus. For many, ADHD is synonymous with a lack of attention, but for those who have it and the athletes who learn to channel it, it's more like having a high-powered spotlight for a brain. When it locks into something you're passionate about, the rest of the world just melts away. This isn't just focus, it's a state of complete absorption, often called the flow state. The ADHD brain often has differences in its dopamine system, which regulates motivation and a reward. The constant, immediate feedback of a sporting event can light up these reward pathways in a way a quiet classroom can't, creating a state of intense, sustained concentration where performance can peak. So the most legendary example might be Michael Phelps. Diagnosed with ADHD as a child, he struggled with inattention at school, but in the water, those traits found a purpose. The pool became his sanctuary, a place where his brain could find calm and channel its immense energy. Phelps himself has described how swimming helped him slow down his mind, allowing him to enter a zone where his hyperfocus took over. We also see this with Simone Biles, who has been open about her ADHD diagnosis. Her capacity to hyperfocus allows her to concentrate with incredible intensity on mastering some of the most complex and dangerous moves in gymnastics, helping her block out the immense pressure of global competition. Next, we have the trait that's almost universally seen as a negative, impulsivity. In daily life, it can lead to some less than ideal outcomes, as we all have experienced if you know someone with ADHD. But on the court or on the field, the same trait, when owned, can be reframed as lightning fast, intuitive decision-making. In sports like hockey, soccer, or martial arts, victory is often decided in microseconds. There's no time for detailed pro-con lists. An impulsive brain, one that doesn't always overthink, can process a situation and initiate a response faster than a more methodical brain. So the split-second decision to shoot, pass, or dodge can be the very thing that makes the difference. The idea is popularly linked to the hunter versus farmer hypothesis, which suggests that ADHD-like traits were advantageous for ancient hunters who needed to react quickly to their environment. While it's obviously a hypothesis, it's a useful way to frame how a brain built for rapid response can thrive in a chaotic world of sports. This is often seen in athletes known for their creative and unpredictable play, who rely on instinct over rehearsed strategy. Our third superpower is the boundless physical energy often associated with ADHD. The same restlessness that make it hard to sit still can be a massive asset in sports that demand incredible stamina. It's like having a high performance engine that is always ready to go. It isn't just a behavioral quirk. It's rooted in brain chemistry. The ADHD brain often craves stimulation, and physical activity is one of the most effective ways to get it. This is why people with ADHD are naturally drawn to sports. It calms the internal restlessness and satisfies the brain need for engagement. So for an athlete, this high energy baseline can mean they're able to endure grueling training regimens that might exhaust their peers. They can thrive in dynamic, constantly shifting environments. Think of the US women's hockey legend, Cami Granato. Before her ADHD diagnosis, her parents called her a little tornado because of her boundless energy. That energy found its perfect outlet on the ice, propelling her to become a Hall of Fame inductee and an Olympic gold medalist. Now, for the power that seems counterintuitive, as some some with ADHD report challenges with spatial awareness in daily life. But in dynamic, fast-paced world of sports, the different wiring in the brains of people with ADHD can translate into a unique advantage. And that advantage is the superior pattern detection. So let's get into that for a second. While some brains get bogged down by every single detail, the ADHD brain can be brilliant at spotting the bigger picture and recognizing emerging patterns on the fly. So think of a basketball player who doesn't just see individual defenders, but intuitively understands the flow of the entire offense, anticipating where the open shot will be moments before it happens. This isn't about memorizing plays. It's about seeing a geometry of the game in real time. This ability to quickly process chaotic visual information and find the underlying patterns is a massive asset. In sports where the environment is constantly changing, like basketball, soccer, and hockey, this skill allows for incredible creativity and game sense. It's the ability to see what's about to happen, giving the athlete the edge to be in the right place at the right time, almost as if they can predict the future. This concept is known as premonition. So let me just give you a side note here. This is actually very interesting. So in George Mumford's book, The Mindful Athlete, this premonition concept attributed to Julius Erving is basically the core idea that when an athlete is in this heightened, hyper-focused, meditative awareness of the game, allows for a deep sense of anticipation or premonition about what is going to happen next. So this concept is more a consequence of the hyper-focus and mindfulness state in addition to the visual spatial skills than a mystical or psychic ability. It is achieved through intense focus on the present moment, which allows an athlete to predict and react to the game with exceptional speed and accuracy. George Mumford was actually the sports psychologist that was with Phil Jackson throughout the 11 years that he won all of his NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls as well as the Lakers. So it's a great book, absolutely recommended to anybody that wants to understand how sports psychology works and the power of this particular concept. So from laser-like hyperfocus and lightning fast decisions to just bottomless well of energy, pattern detection abilities, it's clear that having ADHD isn't a barrier to athletic greatness. In fact, for some, this very trait that are often misunderstood can be forged into championship-winning strengths. So it's time we frame the conversation differently. It is crucial to acknowledge that neurodivergent individuals can face significant challenges, but ADHD isn't a disorder that simply needs to be fixed. It's a different way of processing the world. In an environment with the right support, that different wiring can be a decisive advantage. So what about you? Do you have one of these strengths, or do you know an athlete who exemplifies them? Share your story in the comments below. Let's build a community that celebrates these incredible minds and sees the strength in these individuals. And if this video challenged your perspective, give it a like and subscribe for more content that breaks down myths and celebrates the amazing potential of the human brain. Thanks for watching. Again, I appreciate you guys.